Hello, good evening, friends. So, today we are going to do 25 more prepositions. Yesterday we did about 75. And these prepositions are not, the book is on the table type. These prepositions are figurative. That means they are not exactly related to position or place, but they are the prepositions that follow the adjectives or the verbs, and therefore they are more in, when you are conversing with somebody, you are talking to somebody, you will find use for them, and they are slightly difficult than the simple prepositions. The form is same, but the meaning is figurative, not exactly like touching the surface or inside a box, not that type. Okay. For example, you look at the first question here. This report is not acceptable dash the board. I will just for every question, after every question, I will wait for a couple of seconds to so that you can think it over, go through in your mind, and then I will tell you the answer. Okay, just couple 4 or 5 seconds at the most. So the first is the this report is not acceptable to the board. Okay, the report is not acceptable to the board. And the second is he got 99% in his board exams, yet he is not content dash the results. Content with. You are not happy with, you are not content with the results. You are dissatisfied. Okay. So content with. The third is he has made the same mistake again. He is really devoid dash common sense. The answer is devoid of. If you are devoid of something means you don't have that thing. If somebody is devoid of common sense means that fellow doesn't have common sense. Okay. So somebody is saying this in irritation. Then the fourth is he is anxious dash the safety of his kid who is traveling alone for the first time. The answer is for anxious for the safety. Okay. He was referred dash the district hospital as he had suffered a serious head injury. He was referred to the hospital where he was being treated. The facilities might not have been up to the mark, and therefore he was referred to a bigger hospital, the district hospital in this case, because he had suffered a serious head injury. So he was referred to the district hospital. You refer somebody to somewhere or to someone else. Sixth, his birthday coincided dash the formation day of his company. Two in one. The answer is with. His birthday coincided with the formation day of his company. Means they had same dates. The birthday of this fellow and the you might say the birthday of the company were on the same date. She complained dash very foul smell emanating from the adjacent house. Complaint of. A very foul smell means someone might have died there, a pet or somebody. Complaint because the people living in the house they may not be there. They might have gone out uh, for I mean for a few days or for a few weeks, and there was some smell emanating from the adjacent house. Okay. She complained of. You complain of something to somebody. She sued her company dash rupees 1 crore, alleging it dismissed her unlawfully. For. You sue somebody or some company or some entity for a certain sum. So this lady, she sued her company for rupees 1 crore and she alleged that she was dismissed unlawfully. So they might have a contract and she might have been dismissed against the terms of the contract, not in pursuance of the contract. Okay. So she is now demanding rupees 1 crore in the court of law. That is sue. When you sue someone, you go to the court and you ask the court um, uh, to direct the company to give you that much money. This is suing. Ninth, he excelled dash all sport events, finally winning Sports Person of the Year award. In you excel in something. So this fellow he excelled in all sports. Tenth, we wanted to send someone else to open, but the captain insisted dash going himself. We're talking about cricket here. The answer is on. You insist on something. And as we have repeatedly seen, whenever a verb follows a preposition, the verb is always in the ing form. Okay? Insisted on going. 11. The new chairman has a reputation as taking quick decisions. 4. Reputation for doing something. So the new chairman, he was not a fellow who deserved. He came to a quick decision, and that was his reputation. He was reputed for that. The regional parties have entered into an alliance dash defeating the ruling party. 4. One of the usages for is to show the purpose. Why had they entered into an alliance? For defeating the ruling party. Okay. So it's not that the alliance will always be followed by for. That depends on the context. You could say this was an alliance against the ruling party and for defeating them. Okay. So for is the reason here. Reason or purpose. Then 13th, he could not hide his distrust dash his deputy. Distrust of. So he did not trust his deputy and he could not hide it. Means it was obvious from his behavior or his actions that he did not trust his deputy. 14th. Please stop ordering any more junk food. There's a limit dash everything. Mighty easy. There's a limit to everything. This T must be capital here. There is a limit to something. Here there is a limit to everything. This rule is valid in all circumstances. There is no exception dash this rule. Exception 2. Exception is always followed by 2. No exception to this rule. 4 prisoners have escaped dash the prison last night. From. Have escaped from the prison. The judge asked the lawyer to state facts only directly relevant dash the case. Relevant to the case. Something is relevant or irrelevant to something. Relevant to the case, irrelevant to the case. Okay. So here the judge asked the lawyer not to state things which were not relevant to the case, only those which were directly relevant to the case. His comments were immensely hurtful, dash those who had been retrenched. Retrenched means their services had been terminated. And then this fellow might be their chairman or something. He might have said something regarding these fellows, and that was hurtful to them. So hurtful too. His comments were immensely, means greatly hurtful to those who had been retrenched, terminated. He was very accurate dash his cost estimates for the project. You are accurate in something. Could also be at, but at is not here, so in will be the answer. He was very accurate in his cost estimates for the project. If you use at, then you will have to use an ing form. Accurate at calculating the costs. Okay. Here it will be in. The minister was absolutely disgusted that the treatment meted out to his family. Meted out to his family. Disgusted with. You are always disgusted with something. Something which you don't like or which you find abhorrent or something. Okay. 21. It was sensible dash him to take the accident victim to the nearest hospital immediately. So he might have been severely injured. So instead of going for, first aid and all, what he did, he took him to the hospital immediately. So it was very sensible of him. Okay, sensible of him. Very thoughtful, very sensible of him. He was very dash the attempts being made to remove him from the throne. Very off means he was apprehensive that people were trying to dethrone him. So he was wary of them, careful, wary of the attempts. Okay. It's only proper dash him to apologize to his wife rather than offering further explanations. So they have had a tiff, and the wife is very angry, and this fellow is trying to placate her, giving explanations all. But somebody, a very wise fellow maybe, he says that it will be proper for him to apologize immediately. Okay? It's only proper for him to apologize. His frequent digressions dash the subject irritated his audience a great deal. Digression means when you deviate, deviations you could say, frequent digressions from the subject. So this fellow was called to give a lecture on some subject and he was frequently digressing. So his frequent digressions irritated the audience a big deal. Digressions from the subject. And the last, at present the circumstances are very favorable dash the growth of the company. Circumstances are favorable to the growth of company. Okay guys, so yesterday we had done about 75 and today 25. So these two videos they total to a list of 100 uses. I hope you go through them repeatedly. And for the simple positions, the ball is on the upper surface of the box and the ball is under the table. And this kind of prepositions, they are very primary meaning. And actually, when we read prepositions, our our whole concentration, our whole, we are directed, our attention is directed to this kind of prepositions. But in actual use, when you are conversing with somebody, The figurative use of prepositions, as we saw in these 25 examples and yesterday in 75, those are important. Figurative uses of prepositions. So these are all figurative. Okay. So thanks so much, and it was very nice to explain these things. And we might meet tomorrow or maybe day after with 25 more. Thanks so much. Bye.